is my solution with RubyTL, which, well, I wrote the presentation here in the code. Basically, RubyTL is an embedded language into Ruby, and well, it has rules and bindings, which is the declarative part, and then you can also write declarative code in Ruby, so you can do everything you want. And it has been quite convenient for this transformation. Basically, what I do at the beginning is to take this check mode and enter mode elements, we group them to detect the modes according to the names of the element, and put it in a hash map, which act as a kind of trace model, so that the rules are going to, if they need to know if an element is in a mode, they are going to query this hash map. Okay. Then here are more initializations, which are for for grouping constants and variables and so on, so that you can query them by name. So it's not very clear because of the Ruby code, but basically they traverse the elements and put them in a map. That's only initialization. Here are some helpers. And here are the rules. Basically, the transformation is split into two parts, but it could be more. The first one dealing with actions, and the other one dealing with events, so that you can, for instance, avoid complete the rules, putting some rules on this phase and the other in the events phase. So here, the specification is mapped to a configuration, and then you assign the modes that you get from a helper. And the thing is that, to resolve a mode like a check mode, you have this rule, which is not called. It's not like in ADL that it is always executed, but it is executed on demand. It is a lazy rule. So only when this binding, the conf modes equal whatever, needs to resolve a check mode, this rule is called. So as I have computed at the beginning the check modes that forms a group, then if there are two modes, only this rule is going to be executed only twice. Okay. Well, here there is a. Here these helper observations get the observations according to the mode, traversing the model and so on. And this is an awful thing, not proud of it. But here I take the actions, all actions, and I put them on the entry actions reference, and then some of these actions, like the observe button, in particular, has to be converted to a button, and the actions within a button here has to be assigned to the behavior of the button. So basically, they are first assigned to entry actions, and as rules are executed in order, they change. Well, it's a side effect, but it works. Well, basically, what this does is to get the observation for the button and make sure that they belong to the button. It's a query code. By the way, here I wrote this yesterday. I forgot to do this thing of ordering the buttons, but it's quite easy to solve because here. Okay, here the only thing I have to do do is to sort the observe button observation. So with the sort by or something like this that is built in Ruby, with the strategy that means ordering first, second, third, and then failing at fourth, but will work. Okay. Regarding the robustness of the solution, the thing that I've tried to do, for instance here, is to add some exceptions where at least to as preconditions, so that I mean, if I got a model that I don't expect, at least it fails and tells me here it's happening something that you don't expect. So exceptions are built in Ruby, so this is an advantage because you don't need to do anything special. Well, regarding the events, they are in another phase, so you can take this and not execute it if you don't want events, or you only want to focus on events, then you there. Well, you also have these one-to-many mappings, and you can run the transformation. This is done with a Ruby script, so you can compose transformations and so on. Then this is the model. Okay. I have also tried to run the alarm example, and it creates things, but I have to change it. Okay, I think that's all.
So can you show us the line where you convert these the string 13 to the hours and the minutes?
Sorry, there?
For the set time, we need to convert the strings into integers. Can you show us
the string into
hours and
okay, yes.
In Ruby
it's here.
It just works.
That's really hard in
Ruby just doesn't.
No, well, I did it in an easy way. I just take the first two parts of the string and the other two parts, because
if Ruby finds characters and they look like numbers and it needs a number, it just turns it into a number.
Okay, but
I mean, this
is dynamic.
Yeah, dynamic type.
Okay.
He's jealous.
What happens if you do get a string there?
Sorry?
What would happen if you did have a string there instead of a number?
String?
If you had blah instead of 1337, what would the code do?
Probably get 0 or something like that. Okay. You can try with the command line.
How many lines of code do you have?
Sorry?
How many lines of code
do you
have?
It's well, without comments, it's 220.